Welcome to the Cheshme region of Turkey.
The playground of the rich.
Try and shout it out a bit more.
Okay.
Welcome to the Cheshme region of Turkey.
The playground of the rich.
So this is Alaçatı, which is part of the Cheshme Peninsula. Cheshme itself is a lovely port and coastal town northwest of the peninsula, about an hour's drive on the motorway from the big city of Izmir. But the old town of Alaçatı is in the middle of the peninsula, about a 20-minute drive from Cheshme. This area is one of the most exclusive places in Turkey, and it's known as the playground of the rich. And when you see the prices here in the hotels, restaurants and bars, you'll understand why. So let's have a quick look round. The whole town has been beautifully restored over the years, and it's become a major tourist attraction. It's got hundreds of shops, restaurants, bars and guest houses, and it attracts a lot of people, especially at weekends. There's so many lovely old streets that have been beautifully restored with lovely architecture. Some of it is Ottoman architecture and some sort of Greek styled. There must be a square kilometre of streets like this. It's just a maze and amazing. It's so different early in the morning. It's quite nice to walk around when it's so quiet. And there are so many beautiful buildings like this that still need renovation work. And if you look inside, just look at that. Looks like an old mill or olive press. And it's actually for sale. Early in the morning you can hear all the birds sing. It's really lovely. I've even seen parakeets here too. We've been here 5 days now, and it's the first time I've been down this street. We based ourselves in Alaçatı because it's the centre of the region and it's easier to access everywhere else on the peninsula. What we didn't know is that there was a festival on here at the end of April for 3 days, the Ot Festival. And they put on entertainment throughout the day and in the evenings. The Ot Festival is basically a herb and flower festival. And lots of people wear a halo of daisies. There's a competition with several judges for the best food creation of the year.
Hoş geldiniz Alaçatı'ya. Sizi çok seviyorum. Şeref verdiniz.
And there's a big market on for the 3 days for herbs, spices and other produce. What have you bought?
Half a kilo of dry, sun-dried tomatoes.
Ah, how much were they?
150 lira. Well, actually, yeah.
That's about £7, isn't it? Something like that.
Yeah, but look.
Meanwhile, back in the main bar streets, it was party time. I think the cheapest thing here must be Botox.
Bir daha gelsem dünyaya
başarmaydı her şey baştan denizinde kaybolsun teslim olmuş.
I thought it was like this just because of the festival, but apparently in the summertime it's like this every weekend.
Geçmiyor zaman biraz dolan ister o yalan sıkılmazsam birisi yalan avutamadım söyleyemedim.
Siz yapıyorsunuz herkesin değil mi?
Evet.
Öyle güzel. Kaça satıyorsunuz onlara? 30 mu? Ay ne tatlı ya. İsmi?
Stitch.
Stitch. Ne güzel ya. Hi Stitch.
Hayırlı olsun hanımefendi, beyefendi.
Kaça onlar?
40 lira.
40 lira tamam. And one of the groups that played here on the last night was Duman, a very famous heavy rock group. This group is not everybody's cup of tea, but they did attract thousands of people. So after the festival, which was on Friday, Saturday and Sunday, Alaçatı returned to normal, which was a lot quieter and more relaxing. Evenings in Alaçatı are lovely. You're really spoiled for choice with the lovely restaurants and bars, and you'll find something new every night. Prices here are high. Most serve large beers at over 100 lira, that's about £4.20, and a glass of wine is around 160, which is about £6 a glass. You can find cheaper places if you're on a budget. And you've got a choice of quiet romantic places or lively places. There's something here for everyone. Shops are expensive too, but you can still window shop. It is expensive here in comparison to other places in Turkey, but you can understand why it's so popular. Actually, we think it's very similar to Kaleiçi, the old town of Antalya.
I don't think it would fit me.
I think you need it, lovey, but we'll get it done. Just look at the food in here. This is why this place is full and all the others are empty. That's it.
We've got to have a coffee and share one of these.
That's what you call a piece of cake, isn't it?
And that was 585 lira.
That's about 26 quid for 2 coffees and 2 cakes.
Bargain.
İyi akşamlar, kolay gelsin. That's the most unusual ice cream flavour I've ever seen. So what's the Red Bull one like, lovey?
The thing is, I've never tried Red Bull,
So you wouldn't know anyway. Well,
yes, no.
you'll be hyper after that.
I prefer my nuts though.
Oh yeah, I know you do. Shall we get one of these, lovey? Look, this is a 2-seater version. Brilliant. We'd look really good in this, but you might lose your street cred.
we found this lovely little pizza place. So let's see what comes.
I reckon this little place is actually an old Greek house. Well, the food was fantastic. Well, what is unusual is we've noticed that in Alaçatı, most of the music that's played in the restaurants and bars is Turkish music, which is really lovely. Except in here where they've got English music playing. In fact, it's Rod Stewart. Most of the food in all the restaurants here is Turkish styled. And there's a Chinese restaurant and a few Italian restaurants. And it's nice to treat yourself to a lovely midnight snack. Are you enjoying yourself? With your £7 piece of chocolate cake? What's actually in it?
It's just goo.
Most of this area was Greek until the population exchange in 1922. The mosque here in Alaçatı is also a converted church. Outside the mosque are some beautiful mosaics, typical of a Greek church. And you can still see on the wall the inscription in Greek. But unfortunately, they wouldn't let me film inside. Most foreigners are surprised when they find out that Alaçatı is actually 4 kilometres from the nearest beach, which is Ilıca Beach. The beach is fairly quiet in May, but it attracts thousands of people in the summer, especially from Izmir, and it can be quite windy too. There are a few places to eat here, especially around the Marina. It looks to me like it's mostly beach and residential houses, which are beautiful and obviously very expensive, so
It's a high-end resort, isn't it? Wealthy people come here on their holidays that have obviously got prime residential property.
Yeah.
Most of the winter they're empty, and then obviously come the summer months they come for their holiday.
Yeah. There is a few hotels, of course, and there's some big ones in the area. Cheshme, the port itself, is a sleepy little place with a small shopping area which is mainly one big street. And a long promenade lined with lovely restaurants. There are some lovely boat trips going out of Cheshme, and you can even get over to Greece. You may have noticed on the way into Cheshme that there is a wind farm on the hill behind, and there's a reason for that. Cheshme can be very windy. Of course, in the middle of the summer when it's 40 degrees, that could be a big advantage. There is also an old restored Greek Orthodox church here, remnants of the time when it was Greek over 100 years ago, which is now an indoor market. At the end of the promenade, there's also a small beach with crystal clear water. I can imagine this being quite crowded in the summertime. And the biggest landmark in Cheshme is probably the castle. The castle was built around the 16th century. There's a small museum with artifacts mostly recovered from shipwrecks which were sunken in battles. Most interesting for me were the gold coins and the 1700-year-old beautiful glassware.
You get a lovely view from up here, but I can imagine it's very hot during the summer months.
In fact, from the highest tower in the castle, you get the best view of the whole town. It's a beautiful view of the port. Cezayirli Gazi Hasan Pasha. Cezayirli means Algerian. He was actually born an Algerian, but he became an Ottoman admiral who just happened to have a pet lion. And of course, this statue is great for photos. Shopping is more like a normal town here. Doing a bit of shopping, are we?
Just browsing.
Dodgy Zelly. That's about 20 quid. Oh no, don't go in. Yidyus. That's about £32. Right, off we go then.
I found lots. Give me a wallet.
So Attila is always here with his guns, and you can shoot with them at the balloons in the sea. I say, what if you hit a balloon? And he says he sends you to Syria as a sniper. God, look at the concentration. Yes. Now we're talking, girl. Oh, and that one. The evenings here in Cheshme are a much quieter affair. Most tourists stay in the restaurants and bars on the front promenade. But there are plenty of backstreet restaurants and cheaper fast food outlets. You can always find a reasonably cheap place in the back streets. I just love the name of the shop, Sandwich, because that's how Turkish people say it, Sandwich. This is 80 lira in the back street. I'm not quite sure how you're going to eat it, but... Great, isn't it?
I'm back in an hour.
Another port is the port of Alaçatı, which has a few exclusive fish restaurants, an upmarket residential wharf, and a few lovely hotels. But it's also very well known in Turkey for its huge surf centre. I've actually been told that in the middle of the summer you can't move down here, and it's a bit of a party atmosphere with the youngsters, but not at the beginning of May. And on a lovely day like this, where there's no wind, of course, no one is surfing. Just a short drive away on the northern coastline from Alaçatı is a little bay called Ildır. And this sleepy little village has a few restaurants and cafes and a few places to stay. We found this lovely little garden restaurant called Şirin Bahçe. And what's better than having a lovely sardine and salad lunch? In fact, it's worth coming to Ulder just to have something to eat at this restaurant. It's lovely. Overlooking the bay and the village is the ancient ruin of Erythrai. Oh, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it.
Nice bit of countryside.
Some of the ruins here are over 2,000 years old. They include the Temple of Athena and also the ruins of an old church. So this site it's not a very well excavated site, as you can probably see. And to be honest, at this time of year, in the beginning of May, the flora and fauna and the wildlife is actually more impressive than the ancient ruins. And they also grow a lot of enginar around here, what we call artichokes. So what about the guest houses and hotels here? So as I said earlier in the film, we stayed here in Alaçatı. Many of the hotels are the boutique style hotels, and originally they were houses and they've been converted into hotels. But not many of them have swimming pools. This area was fully booked when we come, and we managed to get one night in each pension or guest house. And so we had to move every day to a different guest house, which gave us a bit of an insight as to what the boutique hotels were like here. The first hotel we stayed at was in a quiet position, the Morrissey Avlu, and it's a few rooms around a main courtyard. A lot of these back street little places are quite old, and what they've done with them is really tasteful. O ne güzel yemek yapıyorsunuz ya. Kolay gelsin.
Limonlu kek yaptım size.
Öyle mi? Oo ne güzel. Never seen olives this colour before. And they certainly go to town with their breakfast.
Beautifully presented, and look at all the different colours. It's lovely.
Are we going to eat now?
Yes, I'm starving.
You've got to expect that some of the rooms were quite small because they weren't originally made as a guest house. The next hotel we went to was the Alico Hotel, which was only 100 metres walk away. But it is closer to the main bar street, and the outside rooms are a little noisier. Then we moved to the Vino Hotel, which is actually next door to the Alico. This hotel is actually on the main street. And it's quite noisy, especially at weekends. We'd recommend this hotel to younger people who like to stay out late. Other hotels that we went to look at but we couldn't get in at the time were the Design Hotel with its pet tortoises and very lovely rooms.
This is the Allura Boutique Hotel, and it's absolutely beautiful. And I think the next time we come back, I should like to stay here.
And if your budget will stretch to it, the Alavia Hotel, which is right in the centre of the old town, is probably the most exclusive hotel in the area. So shall we stay here, lovey? It's only £400 a night. And some of the prices here range from £50 a night to over £500 a night. So what's the best way to get here? Well, you can fly into Izmir, Bodrum or Dalaman. And it's about a 4-hour drive from Dalaman Airport and about an hour's drive from Izmir. You can also get buses, regular buses, out of Izmir, and they go to all parts of this peninsula. Or you can rent a car like we did. We come from Dalaman Airport in just over 4 hours. We rented the car from the airport. We use a company called Pegasus that we've used often in the past, and they've got an office at the airport, so you can pick up your car and drop it off when you go back home. So that's it from here in Cheshme.
Don't forget to like,
subscribe,
and hit the notification bell so you don't miss where we go next.
Thanks for watching.
That's it.
Hell, that was good, wasn't it?
That's a wrap.